welcome into What the Music. Boy, do I have something very amazing for your ears. As you know, we just heard the song Strange by my next guest, J Hacha De Zola. Did I mess that up?
You did it perfectly, my friend. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is, do people mess up your name? With a name very unique like that, I would imagine you have a lot of explaining to do from time to time.
I do, yeah. I mean, a lot of people ask me, did you make that name up? Or where did it come from? You know, and it's actually my family's name. It comes from my maternal grandfather. So I didn't make it up. It's actually one of the, us Latin people, we have a litany of names that typically follow our first name. So, that happens just to be one of them.
Yeah. Some might even call it Strange, which was the song that we just heard right before getting in with you. And that is off of your Greatest Hits album that is available everywhere. And, it's so strange to say you have a Greatest Hits album. Do you still think like, wow, like I've compiled enough for a Greatest Hits?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. The whole idea really is kind of a gas. It's kind of a joke. I mean, I obviously do not have hits, but what's on there is really a compilation of the last 6-7 years of effort, writing songs, recording songs, putting them out. And I really feel what the quote unquote greatest hits really encompasses is truly my probably my better moments, my proudest moments. But in terms of the cover, I kind of borrowed the classic John Denver cover, his greatest hits, because I thought it was just kind of poignant that my first introduction to John Denver's music was through that Greatest Hits record. What called me to the music, honestly, was that jovial picture of him on the cover. He just seemed so happy and so satisfied with himself. So it kind of, made me want to listen to it. And, again, it was an introduction to his music. So I was kind of hoping that, maybe this Greatest Hits and kind of just feeding off of those John Denver vibes, although our music is very different.
No way.
Well, the hopes is that, maybe somebody will see the silly cover of my Greatest Hits and kind of be like, you know what, let me see what this guy's all about. Hopefully check it out.
And it truly worked, because when, I get tons of emails from people and from bands and artists wanting me to work with them. And I saw your cover and I was just like, man, this guy already has a Greatest Hits. Let's it really piqued my interest. So I went in and then I started listening to you and I'm just like, wow, this is somebody that I have to meet. This is somebody that,
thank you.
It truly is a great introduction. If you've never heard of J Hacha De Zola, this is truly I'm not saying that I know you now more than ever, but, I was just like,
right.
Oh, yeah. And not only that, but I scoped you out on your YouTube, and I'm going to have all the links, so make sure to check out the show notes for that. But I was able to check out the Strange. I don't want to say it's a music video, but I guess some people put it in this little short, and I was able to watch it. But I was like, dude, this should be the music video,
Yeah, man, it's amazing that I've been really blessed by, people all over the world kind of taking to, the vibe and the songwriting. What you saw was actually a clip from a full feature independent film from Buenos Aires, Argentina, by a dynamic filmmaking duo, an indie underground. I mean, if there's indie underground filmmaking, these two are doing it in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Rocio and Bastian. Yeah, so that was part of a full feature indie film that they made. But there's other folks out there who have kind of, taken to the music as well. And, it's so rewarding when people include my music and incorporate it in their art to kind of get their artistic vision across. And nothing really works. It really works so effectively when you kind of pair up a visual component with like a really a good audio component. And it just makes the art pop and work so much more efficiently. And it sticks in your mind. I could tell you how many, there's so many times where I've seen a movie or I've watched kind of like a television series like Breaking Bad or something. And, this amazing song will come on and it'll make me stop and say, who the hell is that? So it's always lovely when, you can, get the opportunity to, have your music be part of a film. And it's something that I kind of want to continue doing. It's just so exciting for me. It's funny because the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs used one of my songs, Blue Sky, for an advert, which is kind of funny too, because it was like this big, come to Israel, come vacation here, kind of type thing. And they're using Blue Sky as like a way to kind of, entice people to come over. And, I was honored, of course, and it was a beautiful thing, but it's just funny that, this song about loneliness and heartbreak and, somehow, paired up with, their advertising.
But to be fair, a lot of people, when they first hear a song, they're not diving into what the song is about. It's more of the mood and the feeling. That happens
Absolutely.
to me all the time where, unless it's like blatantly like, like, for example, the song Creep. Like, this is just like blatant, you know what I mean? You're just like, oh my God, I understand what this is about. You're not going to know. So,
totally.
So there's a reason why they did Blue Sky. And that's because it's part of your greatest hits.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely, like, is it weird when you were curating this particular album? Because I know you had to remaster it. But to dive through all, like I look at myself and I think, look at all the interviews that I have ever done. And I've done a lot. I've done maybe over 500, interviews.
Wow.
And if someone were to say, I need you to pick 12 of your best interviews or something, I didn't even know if I could do that because I'd be like, well, each one has its own unique, moment in my heart. So, for you to whittle that down, was it like a March Madness bracket going on, or how did you come up with these particular sets of songs?
Yeah, that's a great point, man. It was actually really quite challenging because, I had to really resist the temptation to say, you know what, these are my favorite songs, these are my picks, and make it all about me. I didn't want to do that, and it's funny because you never really know what people are going to take to, and what people are going to really like. For example, Blue Sky was a B-side, and not only was it a B-side off my first record, it was literally, I think, like the next to last song on the record. And I didn't even consider it as a single, but people through the internet somehow, they dug that song out and they told me, hey, look, this is the song we like, And so I kind of relied on a lot of things like that to kind of fish out, some of the best moments of my catalog. And that's how that selection came to be. I had to just tell myself, listen, it's not about you, Jay. Let the folks, let the fans who have heard the records, let them speak, and that's what should appear on the greatest hits. And that's what I did. That's
very cool of you. That temptation is too much for me. you know?
It is.
Because, because, there are all these little darlings that I'm like, oh man, like this interview only got one view, but it was like so cool and fun. Like, wow, I would put that on. So it'd be more a little obscure and stuff. So, very great of you to, be able to, stop that impulse, of yourself. People are going to ask me, and I have to ask you right now. You're in your car. Right? Because, we got to talk about the outfit that's in the room.
Is it that obvious?
Yeah. But to be fair, the car, I wish I could do this show in the car because it is the most, soundproof, thing. And you can really do a lot in your car if nobody knows that you're in your car. But, and for me, I get a lot of my thinking done in the car and just, it's a very special booth, that I don't know if people really understand, because when they just get in their car, they're just going from point A to point B, but I'm realizing what's happening while I'm in the car type thing. Why did you choose the car? Is it, an important place in your life for you, or?
Okay, so first thing.
Or am I just overthinking it?
No. It's a keen observation. But regarding the car, I got to be honest. One of my favorite places to listen to music, especially if it's my own kind of mixes, or if anything I'm trying to refine, or anything I'm currently working on, I love to listen to it in the car. That is the true test. Especially when I'm alone, because, again, a lot of times when I'm writing stuff and recording stuff, I don't know how it's going to turn out. So it can kind of be like an anxiety-filled type of process. So I like to be alone in my car and, listen to the mixes and kind of just be alone with myself, with this, on the road, and just kind of thinking about what's next, where have I been, and where am I going, But to answer your more immediate question, I work a 9 to 5, so I'm kind of currently hiding out in my car so that I could have this conversation with you right now.
Oh man, thank you. Don't they know that you have a greatest hits out? You're a very important person.
It's so funny. This J Hacha guy, he's totally separate. It's like I'm living a double life. The people at work have no idea that I do music. I don't tell them anything about that aspect of me, because they'd probably just make fun of me anyway.
No, I don't think they would. It's interesting. It's weird because I deal with that as well, because when I'm at work, people don't know that I interview talented people such as yourself. And when I tell them that I do it, they're just like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing this for 15 years. And they're like, what?
Wow.
And it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of ourselves that we don't like to put out there. And I don't know why. We should, if that's who we, right? If that's who we are, then that's who we are, and, I maybe for us or for you, or maybe even for me, it's more of just I want to keep everything separate, very George from Seinfeld, there's independent George, there's artist George, so I get that, but it's real hard when, all these elements get interwoven into your life. And I'm sure some of this stuff goes into your writing, because work is truly you're spending time with your family that you didn't pick. You know what I mean? So
totally.
So I totally get that. Real quick, I wanted to talk about a little bit more about your car, because this is the most this is the question I ask everybody. Okay, so if you listen to all your masters and stuff like that in your car, that means that if somebody listens to your album, the best time to listen to it would be in a particular car. So what car are you driving that you would recommend to listen to any of your albums?
I would probably have to say an ice cream truck. The more colorful, maybe clown colors, balloons, all that freaky stuff, that is colorful and weird.
Kind of like the song, I believe it was On a Saturday. Kind of like that, and if you haven't heard that, it's on his greatest hits, and I believe it's a greatest hits because it's kind of like that too. So make sure, thank you, and so make sure to go check them out. And lastly, you remastered all this music. Everybody always talks about remastering, and I have no idea what that means.
Okay.
I'm just like, okay, they remastered. I'm like, what they? I don't know. They took some zeros and ones out. I don't know. So, can you talk to me about the decision to remaster your music and what you did with it?
Cool. Yeah. So I remixed and remastered, right? So, it's funny going into this whole process initially. It's kind of a growth thing. It's an evolution thing. And, when I first came in and did my first record, I had all these, convoluted ideas of what I thought a record should sound like, what was important, et cetera, et cetera. But as you keep walking down the road, you gather experience, you become a little more seasoned, and you kind of learn, what's important and what's not important, and how you really want to present yourself. So, yeah, that was really important for me in terms of the greatest hits, because every single record was mixed differently, mastered differently. And, once I put them all together on a list, and before they were remixed, before they were remastered, they sound like a disjointed collection of tunes, but I think with revisiting all of them, and kind of, with the vibe and the mindset of where I'm at now, that kind of helped me, basically smooth everything out and kind of put this new sheen, as it were, this new coat of polish on this thing, so that they do sound cohesive and, maybe hopefully a little more mature and evolved.
It does blend together well. I was listening to it right before, I talked to you. As I always do, I like to listen to everything and to get a whole album in. This album is about 45 minutes. And, it was a ride. It was truly a nice adventure in experiencing and listening to it, and just reading about you and just, scoping about your life is super cool. And highly recommend it. J Hacha De Zola.com. And I'll have all the links on the show notes. And I'm just going to call you Jay because
Jay's good.
Yeah, because I'm way thinking too. Have you ever overthought something? You're like, I have to say it correctly, and then you're just like, what? The more I think about it, the more I keep on just
messing it up.
Yeah.
It's all good, brother. Jay is fine. My friends call me Jay.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm your friend now, so it's official. It's
absolutely, bro. Yeah, turtle.
Yeah. Oh, lastly, now, thank you so much. I get to premiere a brand new song off of your brand new LP that's coming out, East of Eden, and in reading about this, I discovered that you finally truly feel like you found your voice in this album. So when you listen to your greatest hits, are you still wondering who that person was as compared to now in this album, and now you truly understand your voice?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I just got to say real quick is that I've never really been very comfortable with my singing voice. Definitely, I'd never considered myself particularly great at anything, especially singing. And so in the past, I kind of felt like, in the past records, I feel like I kind of hid behind this wall of sound and instruments and all this stuff. And for this record, East of Eden, I wanted to really challenge myself to do something that would feel uncomfortable for me going in, and that is to not hide anymore and just, bring the vocals right up front and just kind of not get lost on any tangents or be overly self-indulgent when it comes to tubas and bagpipes and trumpets and saxophones and all this crazy stuff. I just wanted to do what worked for the song, and I wanted the voice to be the center of that. So that's how, this record is really quite different from everything that I've done before, including the greatest hits. It almost feels like a Motown record, believe it or not, which is something very different for me, to have that upfront vocal presence.
Very cool. I'm very excited for that to come out. It's going to come out mid-June, June 11th. So everybody, please make sure to check that out. And not only that, but thank you for letting me premiere Lost Space on the show. Very, very humbled for that, and thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, Jay, let's not make this a one-off, man. Let's
absolutely. Come on, man. We're friends now. We're friends now.
I know you called me first too. Usually I'm the first person to call, but you called me first, which totally messed up my entire setup. And I was like, So I was like,
what's this guy doing?
Yeah. Oh man.
I look forward to it, my friend. I hope to do it again.
Yeah.
And thank you for everything.
Yeah, of course. And I'm very excited for you to come out with your double deluxe greatest hits volume 3. Not volume 2. Everyone knows the second volume is just like, it's volume 3 that matters.
all good things come in threes.
Yeah. Oh, man. For more information, make sure to log on to EnterTheShell.com, and I'll have links to the websites, the Instagrams, the Twitters, the Facebooks, and the YouTube. But I'm going to put that video for Strange on there so people can see kind of what we were talking about. Absolutely beautiful video. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So
please do. My friends in Argentina would appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, great collab from both. And I'll have also links to your Bandcamp so people can go ahead and scope out the rest of your music. Okay?
Gracias.
Yeah. Oh, Simon Limon. So, we leave you now with the single off of the East of Eden album coming out in June. This is Lost Space.